No, do I start now, or is it, or does she just do the concho bell first? Okay. Welcome everyone to this service. I know a lot of us are not here today because we had such a big, fun fundraiser last night with yakisoba and bingo, but welcome to the service. And, Kyoko-san will go ahead and begin with the concho bell, and she's going to lead us in the chanting today, with Sensei doing a remote Dharma message. And of course, Kathy Kumagai as our organist and our tech person, and Alan Goto in the back to help us. Can I have everyone rise for a meditation reading? Happiness follows sorrow. Sorrow follows happiness. But when one no longer discriminates between happiness and sorrow, a good deed and a bad deed, one is able to realize freedom, Dhammapada. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Next, we will have sutra chanting led by Kyoko Okura Gibbs, and I believe she will be doing Jusege. And Jusege is on page 38 of your service book.
Please join me, Gasha. Namanda, Vitsnamanda, Vitsnamanda, Namanda, Vitsnamanda, Vitsnamanda, Vitsnamanda.
浄土志願不満足政府上昇学我を無良好不意大摂取不採小貧具政府上昇学菓子成仏道妙正長実法空教未証門政府上昇学利欲人少年上映主凡行四愚無浄土一生天人師人力縁大公不生無才道少女三苦名交際集約難回避地永遠滅死根門案閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足異様老実法日月修十期天候音普賢異種解放像公正功徳法上王大集中説法四四苦供養一切仏具足修徳本元年出場満得意三害王如仏無下地通達未不詳願学営力投資最小尊志願若国家大仙王冠道国小天人東神妙家ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性一切道本菩大心往生安楽
Namanda 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 Namanda.
Thank you again, Kyoko-san, for leading us in the chanting. If everyone can please rise for the Gatha, and that will be the texture of life, and that is on page 157 of your service book. Thank you very much. If you can please be seated. Oh, I'm sorry. If you could remain standing, we will now have the reflective recitation. And if you could turn to page 11 of your service book, that will be the Four Noble Truths. I will say the word, and then if everyone can join me as we read it. The Four Noble Truths. Dukkha, difficulty. Dissatisfactions comes from not living in accord with the truth of impermanence and interdependence. Samudaya, arising, the delusion of self-importance expressed through greed and anger is the cause of dukkha. Nirodha, cessation, the transformation of greed, anger, and delusion is a cure for dukkha. Marga, path. Shakyamuni Buddha taught the Eightfold Path as medicine for putting an end to dukkha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. If you can please be seated. And I believe next will be the Dharma message, and you'll be viewing that on the screen. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for listening to this recorded Dharma message. As you listen to this recorded Dharma talk, I am in Gardena speaking as their guest minister. The Gardena Temple's minister, Reverend John Iwahara, was our guest minister for our Eitai Kyo service 3 years ago, and I am finally returning the favor. Now, here at the Pasadena Buddhist Temple, we had our Eitai Kyo service last week, and I want to thank all of you who participated in that service. Eitai Kyo is about recalling our deceased loved ones, supporting the temple, and propagating the teachings into the indefinitely distant future. So, that being last week for us, I won't talk about any of those things today. Today, I wish to speak with you about being smallish parts of an immense and worthy enterprise. Being small parts of an immense and worthy enterprise. A month ago or so, I spoke about the two aspects of deep faith and the recognition that we can't do what we desperately need to do entirely on our own. As with most schools of Buddhism, we do not expect to attain enlightenment entirely on our own, entirely by ourselves. And enlightenment is not an end, really. Enlightenment is not a goal that we can accomplish, like landing on the moon. I believe we landed on the moon. But it was done. We did that now. Enlightenment's not like that. Enlightenment is a beginning. Enlightenment is the beginning of a joyous task of liberating others, liberating all who are still deluded and suffering. Now, that project of liberating all who are deluded and suffering will not be completed soon, cannot be completed in a few hundred years. Now, we don't, any of us, individually have a few hundred years. We don't even have a few hundred years individually. We do have some time. And there are things that we can do, good things, very good things. There are good deeds which we can do. There are things we can do, but for the time being, limited things. Imperfect deeds, partial accomplishments. Now, we can be content with imperfect accomplishments when we're honest about our own capacities. We can be satisfied with limited achievements for the time being when we remain cognizant of our limitations. And when we are confident of broad support beneath us, around us, behind us. The Buddha's vow is real. The vehicle which the Buddha's vow provides is spacious. It will carry everyone we care about with us into the light. Into the light. This immense fulfillment will be achieved by the Buddha. I don't have to take the weight of the world on my shoulders. Amida Buddha has already done that. The Buddha is liberating all suffering beings even as we speak. We are all in the process of being awoken. The great exploit is underway, and I am part of it. You are part of it. We are a very small part of a great work. In truth, biological life is hard. It's not just us. It's not that life is perfect except for humans. Life is coarse, rough, crude. The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha are its refinement. As biological life forms, we are a part of the problem. We are a source of the problem. But as members of the Buddhist Sangha, as members of the Buddhist community, we are part of the solution. The Buddha does the heavy lifting, but we are part of the process of solving the great problem. And we are often knocked off center by the problems that life presents to us. We can recenter, refocus, by throwing our lot in with the three treasures. By throwing our lot in with the three treasures, we can refocus, recenter, despite being disrupted by life, the hardships of life. Now, regarding the matter of putting our trust in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I will be quoting now from the Vimalakirti Sutra. The Buddha is one who attained perfect enlightenment and used his attainment to emancipate and bless all humankind. The Dharma is the truth, the spirit of enlightenment, and the teaching that explains it. The Sangha is the perfect community of believers in the Buddha and the Dharma. We speak of Buddhahood, the Dharma, and the community as though they were three different things. but they are really one. Buddha is manifest in his Dharma and realized by his community. Therefore, to believe in the Dharma and to cherish the community is to have faith in the Buddha. And to have faith in the Buddha means to believe in the Dharma and to cherish the community. Therefore, people are emancipated and enlightened simply by having faith in the Buddha. Buddha is the perfectly enlightened one, and he loves everyone as though each of us were his only son. If a man regards the Buddha as his own parent, he identifies himself with the Buddha and attains enlightenment. This is again from the Vimalakirti Sutra. And these are deep and rather complex matters being addressed here rather simply. If anyone regards the Buddha as their parent and identifies themselves with the Buddha, they attain enlightenment. Rather simply put, the Buddha is your dad. He will take care of it. He, she, they, not it. He, she, they will take care of it. The big thing. The Buddha solves the big problem. The Buddha solves the big problem. The Buddha solves the big problem for us. They will take care of it. That leaves all the little problems for you and I to resolve. For you and I to resolve are all the little problems, and the little problems come up every day, over and over. Boy, you're going to carry that weight a long time. When you feel that the big problem, the suffering and delusion of all living beings, is being solved by the Buddha, the small problems become more tolerable. When you entrust yourself to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the little problems that arise, pretty much moment after moment, are less vexing. So please trust in the three forms we find awakening to clearly present itself in: the Buddha, the teachings that direct us to awakening, and the community that supports us on our journey. There is much suffering in this life. It's not our fault. It's not anyone's fault. There are pathways out of suffering and delusion. Buddhist tradition presents 84,000 of them. They all work. There are other religions and secular philosophies that proffer paths out of the darkness. Do they work? Some of them, probably, but I have no idea which ones. Some other religions are somewhat reliable for some people. All of the Buddhist pathways are reliable. All of the Buddhist pathways are trustworthy. All of the Buddhist pathways are trustworthy. Trust in one of them. Trust in one of the many paths should be possible for anyone. It should be possible for anyone to trust in one of the many paths that we have opened out, that our tradition has opened out. Anyone should be able to find a home in one or another of our tens of thousands of communities. Anyone should be able to walk through one of our many doorways into the truth. If not, we'll kick open a new door if we need to. With the Buddha's guidance and the support of our community, we will, if we need to, kick out doorways, kick open doorways, blaze new paths, kick out the jams. We are not alone. We were never alone. The Buddha does the heavy lifting. The Sangha provides the nurturing community. The Dharma charts our course for us. We clean up after lunch. We do little things. We do the little things. But we do the little things with an attitude that makes doing them important, attitudes of acceptance and inclusion and thankfulness and joy. We leave saving the world to the Buddha. but we brush our own teeth. We leave enlightening all living beings to the Buddha. We remember to register to vote. The Buddha shines a transformative light on all beings. We remember not to overeat. The small efforts to live wholesomely that we do make, we make while relying upon the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We act with an attitude of trusting confidence, as our path is well charted by teachings that are well founded. Our little actions are sometimes wholesome. That is enough. If our little actions can sometimes be wholesome, that is enough. Our little actions are sometimes, oftentimes, done in a spirit of thankfulness. That is enough. Our small efforts can be done in a spirit of appreciation, with an attitude of valuing all living beings. That will be enough. You are enough. You are supported by the depths of being. You are loved by the Buddha. You are loved. Please join me in a closing gasho and saying of the Buddha's name. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you, Sensei, Reverend Gibbs, for giving us a wonderful and enlightening Dharma message. And now, if I could have everyone please rise for our final closing reflective reading. Let us cease from wrath and refrain from angry looks, nor let us be resentful when others differ from us. For all beings have hearts, and each heart has its own leanings. Their right is our wrong, and our right is their wrong. We are not unquestionably sages, nor are they unquestionably fools. We are both simply ordinary beings. How can anyone lay down a rule by which to distinguish right from wrong? For we are all one, one with another, wise and foolish, like a ring which has no end. Shotoku Taisho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And if you could please be seated, we will have a few announcements, I believe. You know, I think our president.
Hi, I'm Kathy Kumagai. First of all, thank you for coming today. Thank you to our chair people who ran our fundraisers last night, Jeannie, Donna, Shelley, Kyoko. It was a wonderful time, very successful evening, yakisoba, sake tasting, silent auction. Really appreciate all your hard work. And thank you, Alan, for doing setting us up online in our YouTube. After this service, we still have our white elephant set up in the gym, and if any of you would like to come and take a peek, it's our Dharma Karma white elephant, and you can donate whatever you feel in your heart to donate. There are no prices on any of the items. So thank you much for doing that. I believe this week Sensei is going to be having his classes, but we have no service next Sunday. So please enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you. Marvin, did you want to make your announcement? No? Okay. And thank you very much for coming. Turn it back over to Kathy.
Thank you again for coming to the service. I think everyone, please enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday with all your friends and family. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Have a safe journey home. Bye.